Today, let's talk about how you become the best sales manager. I want to stop right here and say this. We do not just want to be a manager, because managers, by definition, are people who manage people and processes and pretty much want to keep everything going smoothly. Well, in sales, we actually want to be going that way, right? We want to grow our sales and we want our teams to grow. So if we're going to do that, we need to think of ourselves as a sales leader. Now, I wouldn't approach the HR department and say, hey, I need a new title to be a sales leader at this point. But we need to think of ourselves more as a leader, not a manager. Because again, managers are just managing people and processes, and 9 times out of 10, you manage people right out of your organization because they see no value. A leader is constantly showing up, investing in their teams, and adding value. That's what keeps people engaged. They see the value and they want to grow because that person's helping people. That's why people stay. People don't leave an organization, they fire their bosses, okay? But when you're a leader and everybody's seeing growth, they want to stay for the long haul. So we're talking about how we want to add value. How do we go and do that? Well, here's how we're going to go do that. We're going to make sure that we're budgeting to have at least one off-site training for our sales team a year. That's right. We're going to pull them all together and we're going to do a sales training. Now, when I first started off in sales, the owner was probably the best salesperson out there. In fact, he's probably the best salesperson I've ever met. And here's the deal. The sales team didn't listen to everything he said, but he'd bring in these trainers that would give a different perspective or a different twist on what he would say, and it would stick. That's right. He would invest, and he knew that he had to invest in the team and do this, and our sales grew. And what we did is we also had a debrief, and I recommend that. After you go through your full or half-day training, sit back with the team and do a debrief. Now, all professional sports do this. If you look at, professional basketball teams and football teams, they go look at the game tape. Navy SEALs will go do a debrief. All military will go do a debrief after they've executed a mission to find out what they did well, what they can improve on, and do better. We need to do that with our professional sales team. That's right. We need to bring them together, understand what we learned in that training, because when you're bringing everybody together, you're going to get different perspectives as well. And someone's going to say something that's going to stick that someone didn't catch in the training. And it's not because they're stupid or anything. It's just because, hey, there's a lot coming at us. We're learning something new. And everybody works together and they start going, hey, I like this because of this. And everybody starts communicating. Here's the other thing that happens. Well, everybody starts communicating and they start building bonds. And they'll start calling each other and building those bonds and growing together and sharpening. Just like iron sharpens iron, we need this debrief to make sure that we're sharpening our skills. And then we determine 1 or 2 things we're going to add to our sales process and use it going forward. And then we'll check on it, make sure it's still working, and keep growing. But we need to be doing these trainings. If we're not doing these trainings, people aren't growing. People typically don't take the initiative to grow on their own. So we need to invest in them. And as a leader, you're the one that's going to invest in the team, okay? Now, we also want to hold people back for another day or so because we need to do some competitive analysis. We need to understand what the competition's doing, what they're selling, how they're selling, why they're selling, how they're selling against us, and how we can mitigate that. And the best way to learn something is to actually teach. So we need each salesperson to pick a competitor or a product set and go and teach the team on it, because people are going to learn better that way, especially the salespeople. They're going to learn. And when we did that, we came out stronger out of the gate, and we were actually able to overcome objections from our customers and end users to actually outmaneuver them and increase our sales. We saw it consistently when we did that. You got to do that with your team if you're going to be successful. And I can coach you on that after we have a discussion. Now, we also need to be doing something else. We need to supplement all this one training a year. We need to actually be supplementing with books or podcasts. We need to consistently be growing our teams. So we need to have a book or a podcast. What can we do? Well, we do that in the 5 to 10 minutes during our weekly sales calls with our teams to go over stuff and discuss what we're learning. We don't let it go on too much further because, again, if you're reading a book, there's a lot of information in there, but if we talk weekly, we don't need to go over the whole book in one setting. So we want to discuss the things. Now, I've read about 10 books to 12 books a year by following a simple process of reading 10 pages a day. And in a month, you can do about 300 pages. You need to be focused on growing. It may even be a podcast, but whatever it is, you need to focus in and do some touch bases every week to go over what you've learned that previous week. Because we want to add tools to our toolbox and grow. Again, you'll have people giving different perspectives, which will help the team. Now, we constantly need to be focused in on investing. And it compounds over time. It's kind of like our 401ks and our Roths. By putting money in, it will invest over time, and it'll start growing faster as we get further down the line. Now, here's what happens with most sales teams is people don't find value, so they leave. And you're constantly adding new people into your group, and you got to onboard them, and there's higher costs, and you're slower. Well, when you're constantly investing in your team, they want to stay, and it's going to benefit you because you have less onboarding, less training, less bringing people up, less trying to find the right people, and you can get going faster, and you start moving faster where you start really taking off, okay? So we need to be focused in on how we're going to do that, and that's by investing, okay? Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. If you like this video and it's helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody who might benefit. That's why I do these videos. We'll see you next time.